The small town of Willow Creek had a peaceful atmosphere, but within the walls of Redwood Middle School, not everyone found peace. Ben, a timid and frail boy of 14 with short blonde hair, light blue eyes, and a small frame, was often the target of relentless bullying by Denny, a strong and cunning 20-year-old with dark brown hair, sharp gray eyes, and a muscular build who found joy in tormenting the weak. Denny's parents were deeply upset by his habit of bullying. Many people in the town had complained about his behavior, and the school had even called them in for meetings. Despite their warnings and punishments, Denny refused to change. His parents felt helpless, watching their son take the wrong path, but nothing seemed to stop him. Every day, Ben dreaded going to school. Denny and his gang would block his way in the hallways, push his books out of his hands, trip him during recess, and call him names that echoed in his mind even after school. The teachers rarely noticed, and when they did, Denny would flash an innocent smile and escape punishment. One afternoon, as Ben walked home with his head down, clutching his torn notebook, he heard whispers in town about a new family that had moved in. He barely paid attention until the next day when a new boy walked into their class. The new student, Tom, was different. Tom, a confident 12-year-old with neatly combed brown hair and sharp green eyes, had an air of discipline and awareness. He introduced himself to the class, and during lunch, he sat beside Ben, who was used to eating alone. "Hey, I'm Tom. What's your name?" Tom asked with a friendly smile. "But Ben," he mumbled, surprised that someone wanted to talk to him. Tom noticed the bruises on Ben's arms and the hesitation in his voice. He had seen this kind of behavior before, someone who was being bullied. That afternoon, when Denny and his gang cornered Ben behind the school building, Tom happened to pass by. Denny snatched Ben's lunchbox and tossed it to one of his friends. Just as he was about to shove Ben, Tom's firm voice stopped him. "That's enough." Denny turned around smirking. "And who do you think you are?" Someone who doesn't like bullies," Tom replied, stepping forward. Denny laughed. "What are you going to do? Fight me?" Tom didn't answer, but simply stood his ground, his sharp green eyes locking onto Denny's. Something about the way Tom carried himself made Denny hesitate. "I know your type," Tom continued. "You think picking on people makes you strong? Real strength isn't about hurting others." Denny scoffed and shoved Ben to the ground. Tom immediately stepped in front of Ben and stared Denny down. "You do that again, and you'll regret it." Denny clenched his fists but didn't move. Something about Tom's confidence unsettled him. From that day on, Tom became Ben's friend, and wherever Ben went, Tom was there. Denny still tried to bully Ben, but every time he did, Tom intervened, warning him sternly. One day, Denny decided he'd had enough. He challenged Tom to a fight after school. A crowd gathered in the schoolyard as Denny cracked his knuckles, ready to teach Tom a lesson. But Tom, a trained martial artist, remained calm. Denny lunged at Tom, but before he could land a punch, Tom effortlessly dodged and delivered a hard punch straight to Denny's stomach. Denny gasped for air and fell to the ground, pain and shock written all over his face. The crowd fell silent as Denny struggled to get up, realizing that he had finally met his match. Tom stood over him and said, "Hurting others doesn't make you strong. Now you know how it feels." Denny never bullied anyone again. From that day forward, he kept his distance, having learned his lesson the hard way. Ben finally found peace, and for the first time in his life, he walked the halls of Redwood Middle School with his head held high, grateful for the friend who stood up for him.